Some more bad news for the Romney campaign today. A string of swing state polling suggesting President Obama has the edge in crucial battleground states. Let me run through them with you. The polls show President Obama ahead of Mitt Romney by as little as 1 point in Colorado, to as many as 11 points in Pennsylvania, and in states where Republicans had hoped to make some gains, such as Paul Ryan's home state of Wisconsin. They have Team Romney lagging behind 6 points there. Florida, side of the Republican National Convention, President Obama, 5-point edge. Let's bring in the panel. Robert Costa, contributor to CNBC's Kudlow Report, political reporter for the National Review, USA Today's Washington Bureau Chief, Susan Page, the great redesign USA Today. We're big fans of it here. I'm deputy editor of the Rothenberg Political Report and a contributor to reporter to Roll Call, Nathan Gonzales, the entire Rothenberg Political Report empire. No, two-thirds of it. Two-thirds. This morning. Welcome all. Robert, I want to quickly start with you. You had a bit of news last night about the Romney campaign borrowing money using... I understand what they did. They basically used their general election funds to borrow money, but it also shows you how concerned they have been about the advertising in July and August.
No, it's really a fascinating story in the sense that the Romney campaign, who we hear about their general election fundraising, it's so big and they have hundreds of millions of dollars ready to go. But they were really struggling in August, so what they did is they used their general election funds as collateral. They put $20 million out of the Bank of Georgetown just to survive until the convention because they didn't accept public financing.
I have to say, it does tell me, though, they have a small donor issue, because small donors should have been able to, if they were having a good small donors, they should have had some primary small donor.
Look where Romney is. All he's doing is fundraising this week. That's where he's at. He still has to raise some money.
Yeah, you know, Susan, just watching his schedule, you saw Lindsey Graham was going, stop, why are you coming from Utah and in Dallas? 5-day gap, and yes, there was a canceled event that he was going to have in Colorado, but when he does events, it's one a day.
And that is not what we see come from behind candidates do. I mean, think about the candidates who have made big surges.
John McCain. I always thought he's the best.
Remember, example.
He grabbed his luggage on his own and said, let's go.
You got on a bus, you drove from VFW Hall to VFW Hall. You did events from the first thing in the morning till the last thing at night. And not only did you do events that reached out to voters, but you said something to the country as a whole, that you were a guy who wanted it bad, who was vigorous, who was going to fight for it, who had something to say. Now, of course, they're also trying to prepare for the debates. And I guess if you look at it, if you had to choose between doing events now or doing well in that first debate, October 3rd, you'd probably choose.
But I tell you, October is all debates. That's the problem. You know, you get caught up in that cycle of debate prep. That's all you could be doing is debate prep after debate prep. Nathan Gonzales, I was reading all of the sort of conservative intellectuals writing this morning and last night. John McCormick in the Weekly Standard, the Wall Street Journal editorial page, so we assume it's Paul Gigot, Peggy Noonan. And collectively, I got the sense that there is an exhaustion among conservatives who were never rooting for Romney. Let's put that out there during the primaries. But they're almost exhausted from defending him.
Well, I think we have to relearn that the primary didn't prove that Romney was a conservative. It just proved that he won the Republican primary. And he had started to, I think, gain some traction with conservatives because he was the one who could defeat President Obama. Now that that's slipping away, yeah, there's some disillusionment, and we're falling into this blame the candidate blame the candidate cycle. There's no guarantee that if it would have been someone else that they would have won.
I have to read what John McCormick wrote in the Weekly Standard, Robert, and he gets you to react to it. He basically says the guy doesn't know how to speak conservative, if you will. He was talking about all the various remarks, and he says the likely problem is that Mitt Romney is not a conservative, or at least wasn't a conservative until late in life, but he is running for president as the nominee of the Conservative Party on a conservative platform, so he has trouble defending conservative ideas, and when he sells himself to conservative, he sometimes comes across as a right-wing caricature. That's pretty brutal.
It's pretty brutal, but look, I'm a reporter for National Review, and when I talk to folks in Boston, they're almost incredulous at this kind of stories that they keep reading because they think
you should be rooting for him.
Well, they think we put Paul Ryan on the ticket. Conservatives should be happy, and they don't think that Romney is tacked to the center in the general election.
What more do they want?
What more do they want? That's their attitude.
All right. Stick around.